Island arking is the removal of a population of animals in whole or part and placing them somewhere geographically separate to the current location. By doing this, the population will be allowed to stabilise and will possibly prevent extinction. This is done when the current location of the population is put at threat through expanding urbanisation, disease, and/or a variety of other stressors. Phascolarctos cinereus, more commonly known as koalas, are particularly at risk as the urbanisation of koala habitats continue to rise. As urbanisation increases, the stressors that impact these sensitive marsupials continue to build. A multidisciplinary study was undertaken in 2011 by a team of researchers led by Razvan Cristescu to review the possibility of North Stradbroke Island, or NSI, serving as an island ark for the population of koalas residing in South East Queensland, or SEQ, who face a continually growing threat of urbanisation, habitat loss, and disease. In order to substantiate the suggestion that NSI would serve as a suitable ark for SEQ koala populations, a number of procedures were undertaken to assess the suitability of the island and the state of both populations. Both European and Aboriginal references of koalas on NSI and SEQ were collected and analysed in order to provide a firm background to begin data collection. Information on both populations' locations was gathered. Data was collected on the size of the island/SEQ range, temperature, geography, state of flora and fauna, and historical records. Once these initial observations had been made, research progressed to focus more on the population. Information regarding distribution, ecological characteristics, reproduction, health and causes of mortality, home ranges and movements, diet and genetic diversity. This data was obtained through scat sampling, namely for distribution and diet evidence, radio collar tracking for evidence of home ranges and movement, ear tissue sampling for genetic information, and examination of healthy, injured and deceased animals for ecological characteristics. European and Aboriginal references of koalas on NSI were scarce, but subsequent analysis of molecular genetics of the population suggests that they predate European occupation. Upon further examination of the scat sampling and radio collar tracking results, it was learnt that the koala population of NSI predominantly occupy the northern two-thirds of the island, including rehabilitated mining areas and 3 urban areas. In terms of ecological characteristics such as body size, breeding season, reproductive output, home ranges and movement, NSI koalas are consistent with those of other Queensland koala populations. However, there are differences between both sets of populations in terms of health, diet and genetic diversity. Diseases were found to play less of a role in NSI koala mortality. Unlike SEQ populations, diet appeared to be more reliant on Eucalyptus robusta than more typical diets on mainland, and NSI koalas exhibited the lowest genetic diversity. NSI koala populations face significant threat, mainly from anthropogenic causes, including climate change and habitat destruction. It was concluded that due to several differentiating characteristics, including low genetic diversity and lack of disease, NSI koalas are extremely unique as a population. Thus, NSI should not be considered a suitable island ark location and should be maintained as a separate entity with conservation methods in place on both the island and mainland.